everyone. I am making candles for product photography. Am I sideways on Instagram live? Because I can't tell if I'm sideways or not. Like, it doesn't look sideways to me, but yes, I'm making candles for my product photography. And let me get my warmer on. Because I have new pictures to take. Y'all know I'm rebranding. And so new jars, new everything. So I have to get my product photography taken and edit and everything for the new website and stuff. So I'm weighing out wax. This is the coconut. This is the C6 wax. It comes in slabs like this. And I take a straight sided spatula and I just cut it. It's super creamy and soft. Like it's not like you're tearing your arm off trying to cut it. So I've never been live trying to make candles. I always record the video and edit it down for YouTube. So this is kind of new, but I was like, you know what? I have to spend the afternoon making candles, so I'll just go live and answer and just kind of talk about why I switched to coconut soy wax, because I get a lot of questions about it. So I'm measuring it out right now, and then I'll get to some questions. So how's everybody doing? For all my moms out there, hope you had a great Mother's Day. That's my y'all say hi to my husband, my baby daddy, my husband.
I can't see my head.
Well, the camera's right on the side, babe. I have the iPad turned. There you go. Y'all, he always trying to get in my videos and my stuff. Y'all see my bloopers where he be trying to still get all in the LadyC family stuff.
I'm about to leave. I just want to interject. All the Mother's Day, we had this argument.
Oh,
you wouldn't be mothers if it wasn't for the man.
Oh my Lord, here we go.
Because you celebrate mothers because you guys just control, ovaries and stuff like that. But until a man comes and helps you with fertilization, you're really not a mother.
Are we really doing this?
My father-in-law said, an oven is just an oven until the heat comes.
My dad did say that yesterday. I was like, Dad, really?
Hey, no disrespect. I'm just saying, if you really think about it, you're not a mother until somebody
let us have our day. Y'all's day is next
helps
month.
You be a mother. I don't want to get too, R-rated. But
y'all's day is next month. Let us have our day. And you know what, y'all? And I was like, they going off on you, babe.
Where?
They said we carried for 9 months. She said, "Don't steal our shine." That's right. Get them, girl.
But Miss Shauna, how do you carry for 9 months? Somebody helped you.
By the grace of God.
How you find out you're pregnant? No, how?
By the grace of God.
Because somebody said, "Wow."
Y'all, my husband is real goofy.
I'm just saying.
He's so goofy.
I'm just saying. Let the moms be great.
Listen, let us be great.
But what makes you a mother? By raising children or having children? How do you have children? With the assistance of a man. Just saying.
Where you going?
I was raised by a mother and 6 sisters. I'm not sexist or anything. But I'm just saying. I have 6 sisters and a mom. I love women dearly. But I'm saying, give men credit.
Yup, next month.
Yeah, all we get is a grill or a tie.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
Next month.
Just saying.
I think it's 3rd Sunday, actually. I got you. Y'all, and he acting like this because his birthday is tomorrow.
Yes, it is. Who's a Taurus in the
all
chat?
How many live? There?
There's 3 people. Okay, that's fine. Taurus gang. If you want your life to be simple, marry a.
No.
Hold on, I got haters. Shelby said, "What makes you a father?" What makes you a father, Shelby, is patience, okay? To withstand the comments from my
Lord
female
have
counterparts
mercy.
that I'm receiving.
Lord
What
have
the stomach
mercy.
rubs. No, you
My husband is silly.
I'm just having fun. Wait a
He
minute.
just having fun, y'all.
But you got one job. Oh, no, ma'am. Because as the role of men carry more pressures. Why do you guys think you guys outlive us 10 to 15 years? Because we have to deal with more. You guys have a hold on emotions. There's no such thing as male estrogen. There's no such thing as that. You guys have nurturing, all that stuff. But what makes us a father is being there to help y'all. And the patience.
He being extra because his birthday tomorrow.
When you can take the pain, then you can get credit. We're in the delivery room, Ashley.
Get him, girl.
Ashley, we're in the delivery room.
I love my LadyC family. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I need to start a channel for the
No,
men.
you don't.
I'm gonna Sir Michael's candle. No, not candles. I'm gonna do scented oils.
Get out of here.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna read it now. I'm about to leave, y'all. Don't get mad. Thank you, Miss Eddie.
My husband is a goof.
Miss-
Y'all have no idea.
Miss Eddie said he's a proud father. Thank you.
He
I got
is.
1 out of 10. That's all right. Does he help package the candles? Miss Janet, I drive them to the post office.
Yes,
I do.
He's a big help.
And I have not gotten the mileage reimbursement check at all. Today is my birthday. Miss Tania, yes, Taurus gang. Yes, ma'am. Happy birthday. Does he? That's true. Thank you, Shenton. See, I got fans. I will put my social media in the description.
No, this is not about you. This is my channel. Woo, this Taurus of mine that I have.
I have fans. We can have a conversation.
No, they don't want to talk to you.
We can take a break from the wax melts and stuff.
This is candles. I'm not doing wax melts today.
Same thing.
No, it's not.
He said, "Happy birthday, me today, Mom."
All right.
She needs. Ashley said she needs. So are you doing both?
What do you mean? Oh yeah, so that's Instagram.
So what's this one?
YouTube.
Oh, this is YouTube.
Yeah, I go live on YouTube and Instagram. So and Facebook. I don't know what happened.
I'm gonna scroll up to see some of these, just in case I missed some of y'all. Okay.
They don't. Excuse me.
I'm just looking. Miss Bridges, she said he's a C. She gets me. See, I got friends. I don't have a YouTube channel, but I'm gonna start one today.
No, you're not.
Y'all go find.
No, you're not. My husband is silly, and y'all, we've been together 12 years, and when I tell you this man is still keeping me laughing, like seriously, he is comical. We clown all day, and his birthday's tomorrow, so again, he's being real brand new. And normally, y'all, his birthday sometimes falls on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So my baby gets, we try to make it like real big. Celebrate moms and his birthday.
When I turned 16, 18, 21, and 25, it was all on Mother's Day.
All on Mother's Day. Bless his heart. So I got catered to my man tomorrow for sure. All right, y'all. So I just measured out.
Wait. Let me see if I got any more comments.
They're done.
I just wanted to see if I didn't leave nobody else.
They came to talk about.
We need Shauna's my friend. We need conversations like this.
Shauna Johnson.
If she want me to stay for a while, let me take my coat off now.
Excuse me. They don't want you to stay. They came to talk about wax. Okay. My husband's silly. Yes, 12 years. We've been together 12 years total. He proposed when we were at our 5th year. And then we got married in 2016. So by then we were together 7 years. And then we just celebrated our anniversary, our 5th anniversary last month. So 12 years total. I'm a Capricorn. He's a Taurus. And y'all, that's my best friend though. Love him to pieces. All right. So I just measured out my wax. This is my coconut soy blend wax. I use C6, and I normally get it from the Flame and Candle, Virginia Candle Supply. Those are like my 2 main ones that I get it from. And literally they come in slabs, so I can't pick it up. It's in this big box. And then I literally use a straight-sided spatula to carve it. Y'all seen my videos, but just to kind of reiterate if you're new, This is my scale. I just got this scale. I purchased it from Pro Candle Supply. I love it. Y'all know I was using my other gray small kitchen scale, and I had that for years. So it was just time for a little upgrade, and then I got my Presto pot over here. This box is kind of blocking it because I'm going to show y'all a few little orders that I have. But I got my Presto pot here. So I got my oven preheating. I know many of y'all always ask like wet spots and things like that. And so what I do to kind of minimize it is I preheat my oven to about 170-ish, and I put my jars in there before I pour my wax, so that with the jars being hot and the wax being hot, it slows down the cooling. So the cooling is gradual. Normally when you're working in front of like registers or drafts, or if it's cool in your home or what have you, sometimes it can cause the cooling process to speed up, and the wax doesn't have proper time to connect with the jar like it's supposed to. So that's where those wet spots come in. Yes, they can be kind of ugly, but I've gotten away with covering up with labels depending on how bad it is. But I don't want y'all to like stress out over wet spots. It's not a huge deal. I hate the way it looks too, but sometimes you can get away with it with covering it with the label. These are my new jars that I'm releasing with my rebrand. I still have a lot of my old jars there with candles made. So I'll start rolling these out once all those orders kind of leave that area. So this is also a 9-ounce jar. It does net weight 7 ounces. So it's the same size jar that I used to use, but you could tell it's a lot more narrow, and the diameter is a lot wider. So I actually had to bump my wick up from a CD12 to a CD14. And so if you looked at my Instagram story on LadyC's Digital HQ, you saw me doing some more testing. I've been testing over the past several weeks with my fragrance line to make sure it burned, and it had a beautiful burn. So I definitely had to up my wick. When I was doing the CD12, it started to tunnel a little bit, and yeah, so I said, ooh, I need a bigger wick. I have my wick stickers here. Y'all have seen me create candles before, so this is really just to kind of talk about wax while my wax melts. So let me make sure I didn't miss any questions while my husband was over here acting silly. Jasmine Foster, I'm doing well. Yes, I'm using C6 now. I'm about to talk about that in a minute. I'm about to talk about that and why I like it and why I switch. Everybody's saying hi to my husband. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all my moms. Okay, those are all comments about my silly husband. Just wanted to make sure I didn't miss nobody. Okay. All right, so I'm about to pour this into my pouring pot, my Presto pot over here. So this can start melting. So so when it comes to me doing product photography, what I do is, and this is a little tip, I do not waste my fragrance line fragrance oils. So what I do is all of my little samples that I may buy, or any fragrance oils that's not a part of my line, I use those. Like, I'm just making 9 jars of this Citron and Mandarin because I have some left. I don't waste my fragrance oils that I use for my actual candle line. I just use a bunch of fragrance oils that I have chilling that I haven't used. And I make 9 jars of 1 scent because I'm putting different labels on the jars. And y'all can't tell in my product photography what scent I'm using. It's strictly for photos. Like, I'm not selling these. They're strictly for photos. And that's it. So these candles will always be used for like photo photography on Instagram and for my website and Facebook. So little tip with product photography, don't waste your time trying to make 1 scent of each for your jars. Like, I'm not about to make 9 scents. Like, I'm just going to use an old fragrance oil that I have not used in a while, make it real cute and pretty, make sure my tops are smooth so I can take cute pictures for my website. That's it. So that's what I'm doing today. And while that's melting over here, we are going to talk a little bit about C6 while I'm wicking my jars. So this is not like a super deep live. It's real informal, real random. As you can see, I just literally said, oh, I think I'm going to go live today. So yes, I switched to coconut soy wax blend. I use the C6 and I love it. But why did I switch? So I switched because, now don't get me wrong, I started with 464. I've used 464 since I started. Like in 464, and I'm sure y'all can attest to this if y'all use it, it's a very tricky wax to work with. And I had finally, I don't want to say I mastered, but I feel like I had my candles to a point where I was pleased with the hot throw with the 464. What I try to encourage other candle makers, lower your expectations a little bit when you're working with soy, because you're not going to achieve that hot throw like you think you are. It's just not going to happen. And so when you lower your expectations a little bit and learn the properties of soy wax and understand how soy wax works, you'll understand how to properly market your soy candles to where you help educate your customers. Because I'm using soy wax and this is how soy wax is grown and manufactured, this size jar with this type of wax works well in half baths, in offices, small spaces. My 9-ounce jar, when I use 464, it worked great in half baths and offices and like more like studio type apartments. And I would educate my customers, like, these are great for bathrooms. These are great for your bedroom, or, you know, when you're in the bathroom and you want to take a bath. I did not, you know, mislead my customers to think, y'all, oh, my candle smells like a Bath and Body Works candle, because I knew it didn't. Bath and Body Works use a completely different formula than just a regular 464. They don't use just straight soy wax. Let's just be real. So I had to not only lower my expectations, but learn how to properly market my soy candles. And my customers loved my soy candles. At 10% fragrance load, my hot throw was pretty darn all right for a 464. And again, properly understand what size jar you're using, and play around with fragrance load percentages. You can even go upwards to even up to 12% fragrance load, and test between 10 to 12 if you're using 464, and see how it works. And then make sure your size jar works for the size room you're making it for. But I didn't necessarily switch because I was just tired of using it or what have you. I switched because I kind of wanted to like play around with other waxes, begin to expand my knowledge on other waxes, not only to educate you all on my YouTube channel, but just to get more experience. And so literally when I started using coconut soy wax, I fell in love, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of different things compared to soy wax that I'm realizing. And so one of the biggest things and differences that I've noticed with soy versus coconut is the hot throw. Because it's mixed with coconut oil or coconut wax, the hot throw is a lot stronger. So if you're wondering whether or not C3 or C6 hot throw is better than 464 in comparison, it is. Now, I will say you still have to kind of play around with your fragrance load percentages. So at first, I use 6%. And I know to many of y'all probably like 6% fragrance load, like that's low. But for a coconut soy wax, that's actually recommended, but you could still go up to even 10% without using any additives. So I started with 6%. The hot throw was pretty good. And then one of my customers had asked me, one of my new customers, and said, hey, do you think you can make the candle a little stronger? And I didn't get offended. I'm glad she said something, because to me, I thought the hot throw was fine at 6%. And one thing when it comes to making candles, we're under this aroma all the time making candles, and sometimes our judgment can be a little off because we're numb to fragrance smells a lot. And so I was like, okay, well, let me test making it at 8% and then let me try it at 10% and see how it burns. And they burn just fine. It didn't seep out the wax. It didn't sweat or anything. It was totally fine. So now I bumped it up to 10% for my customers' sake, because I still want them to get as strong as a coconut soy wax will let you. And so one of the biggest differences, if you're wondering, is the hot throw. Yes, it's better than 464. I will tell you that. But you do still have to test and make sure that it burns properly and you're using the proper wicks, because it's not just about the wax when it comes to hot throw. It's about the wick as well. So you want to make sure you're using the right size wick. So again, this is a 9-ounce jar. It net weighs 7 ounces. And so me thinking like, okay, well, this is the same size as my old jar. It must use CD12. So I'll start with the CD12 wicks that I have and test from there. It started to tunnel. So I immediately realized that the diameter opening is a lot wider than my old jars. And so I bumped it up to CD14 and it's been burning great. The hot throw is fine. Even with this size jar, I will still recommend to my customers bathrooms, smaller bedrooms, offices. It's been testing in my half bath all day, and literally right when I walk the corner, I instantly smell it. My husband lit it for me. He said, "Oh, babe, this smells good." He said, "I smell it when I'm coming down the steps." So that's giving me a good sign. Now I was kind of looking and checking for the melt pool and making sure it burned evenly. And then how many hours did it take for it to do it? So it took about, I would say good, almost between 3 and 4 hours. It took about 3.5 hours to get that full melt pool for me. And it's burning great. And so that is one of the biggest differences between 464 and C6. I've noticed is the cold and hot throw. Even with lighter fragrances, like what's a light fragrance that I have? Did I bring it down? I don't think I brought it down. There's this scent from Candle Science. It's called Rose Petals. And it does smell like a rose, but it's a lighter, airier scent. And even with my lighter fragrances, even at 10% fragrance load, the hot throw is still right where I need it to be. Another big difference is the troubleshooting aspect of making candles. Just checking on my wax over here. We are still good. Let me turn this up just a bit, and then I'm gonna stick my jars in the oven in a minute. The troubleshooting. So I've noticed with C6 versus soy that less sinkholes. I will say sinkholes, it occurs mainly because they're pretty much big air pockets. And what happens is, depending on your environment and depending on how much you've stirred, if there's air bubbles kind of floating around in your wax that you noticed. But again, mainly because of maybe drafts and things like that, you can get a lot of air pockets. And depending on how fast it cooled down, air pockets will form. And I've noticed that with the C6, it does not do that. I think I've probably had maybe like 4 or 5 sinkholes the entire time I've been working with this wax for the past several months. And I have not had a lot of sinkholes at all. The tops are not rough. If I do get a rough top, it's like a little small air bubble that's right on top. And literally a heat gun knocks that right out. But the troubleshooting is less hectic. I don't have to pull my heat gun out as much to fix sinkholes, lumpy or bumpy tops. Like I said, with the 10% fragrance load percentage, it does not sweat on me. So I don't have to worry about little fragrance droplets floating around on top of my tops after it cures. It has a nice creamy consistency. So this is how it looks for those who didn't see when they first tuned in. They come in slabs and it's a nice creamy off-white color. Very creamy, like literally it just feels like a lotion, like a nice body butter. So it is a nice soft wax. It's still got that soft wax consistency. It's really easy to carve. I know a lot of people's like, oh, I don't want to do all that work trying to carve slabs. It's super creamy. Like literally, you just put your straight sided spatula in and just carve a piece, and you break it off in chunks. They are also, when it comes to coloring, you want to add color. It does hold a color very well. Not too different from the soy wax that I've noticed, because even though I don't color my product line, I do play around with color and things like that. So it holds color very well. And so overall, I like the quality of the wax. Not saying 464 is not a quality wax, because it is. It's a natural organic wax. So if you're still trying to stay natural, but you're struggling with the hot throw, try maybe buying like a pound of coconut soy, C3 or like C6, and test and play around with it and see what you think. I did it because I wanted to give my customers a better experience. I wanted to cut down on my troubleshooting time and just kind of give them a more of a hot throw punch if I could. Even though it's natural wax, if I can do something to help elevate my product line, I wanted to do it. And again, with this whole rebranding, I've been playing around with coconut soy wax for several months, like late last year. And I've been loving it. My customers have noticed a difference they're like, oh, is this a new formula? Like, it's a lot stronger than your old candles. Not to say your candles was bad, girl, but you know, I like the new formula. It seems like it got a little bit more punch. Even with my lighter fragrance. What happened with Instagram? Oh shoot. I don't know what happened. Let me turn it back on. Even with my lighter fragrances like lavender, I have a lavender scent. And again, testing with like a scent like rose petals from Candle Science, it held a nice little punch. So I wanted to come on here and just kind of chit chat about it. It's still 464 is still a nice wax to use. I don't want you to think it's not, but it does burn a lot cleaner. I did notice that. That's probably the third big difference I've learned. It burns a lot cleaner, which means when the wick is like, I don't see black smoke. I don't see a lot of black soot. It doesn't get real black on the jars as well. And so again, I'm thinking about my customer's experience. What can I do to elevate that? Let me see. Okay, so I'm new to all this. With the fragrance, do I double the fragrance based on the size, like 7-ounce jar to a 14-ounce fragrances? So when it comes to figuring out how much fragrance oil you want to use, that comes down to your fragrance load percentage. And I do have a video on my YouTube channel, Shauna, about how much fragrance oil and wax you need to make one candle. And so depending on your size jar, that's when you determine. It's not basically just like, oh, you just double it. I recommend still trying to work out the formula because are you saving this live? Yeah, it'll be on my YouTube channel under my lives, Ashley. Shauna, when it comes to fragrance oil, I always recommend doing a formula, because once you nail down the formula, then you don't have to worry about, do I double, do I triple, because I'm using a bigger jar. Just stick with the formula and just plug in your numbers. That formula have saved my life and I am not going back. I love my formula that I finally nailed down. And so, yeah, so those are probably the big three differences that I've noticed with coconut soy versus 464. The hot throw, the way it burns, and the troubleshooting. So if you're having issues with troubleshooting, if you're getting frustrated with hot throw, now again, with any natural wax, you're going to encounter issues. No candle comes out perfect. My candles don't come out perfect every single batch. However, there are some things you can do to minimize some of the issues. How long do you keep them in the oven? Just until their jars are warm. That's it. There's no rocket science. It's literally just kind of those under the rug tips that you just discover as a candle maker to help slow down the cooling. Have you bought scents from Aztec? I have not. I actually plan on to, because I want to start doing some fragrance oil reviews on YouTube. So I have a list of candle suppliers that I want to try out their fragrances. So I will be soon. Okay, great, Shauna. Yep, watch that and let me know if you have any questions. What about the size wick? Kira, what do you mean? So your wick size is based on your size jar. And so you can't just pick a wick because I'm gonna just try these. If you're buying jars from a candle supplier, ask them what wick size do you recommend. I always tell candle makers, start with what your candle supplier recommends because they are the experts in what they carry. So they should be able to tell you. Now, this jar, the supplier I purchased them from, they don't carry wicks. But what I did was, because it was similar to the size jars that I used to use, then I just started from that base and did process of elimination. So because this is like the same size ounces, I said, okay, 9-ounce jar. I used to use 9-ounce jars, so maybe the CD12 will work. And it didn't. So I said, okay, I noticed that I need to size up because it started to tunnel. So I just sized up. I just said, okay, well, I'll try CD14. So it's just a trying process. And I bought CD14 in like a small pack. It was like a pack of 20. I didn't buy 200 wicks of, CD14. I wanted to test it first. So test in small quantities and figure out where the error is. What if the jar is square? Does it matter? Yes, jars, they come in different shapes and sizes. And so the wick is going to matter. So, you have to test and figure it out. A lot of candle suppliers have wick guides. They have customer service. So wherever you buy your vessels from, just say, hey, do you have any wick recommendations? I'm using this type of wax. What wick do you recommend? And that's it. They should be able to help you out because that's where they're experts in what they carry. And then test from there. That's how I started. I go with what's recommended, and then I find my tips and tricks and my sweet spots as I'm troubleshooting and learning. And let me stick these in the oven really quick. I'll be right back, and then I'll answer these last couple questions. Okay, and then can you use a hair dryer? Yes, you can. I started with a hair dryer, and then I bought a heat gun off Amazon. So yeah, so I think that's all the questions. So now I'm just about to measure out my fragrance oil. Again, if you're just signing in, pro tip, when you are making candles just for product photography like I am, they're not going to be sold. Don't use your nice fragrance, like don't use the fragrance oils that you use for your product line. Like I need those for my orders. So I use old like fragrance oils that I don't use in my product line. Like these are oils that I use when I'm making YouTube videos. Like I buy oils to like try and sample new fragrances. But if these are not a part of my product line, I use them for YouTube demos and product pictures. I'm using 1 scent for all 9. And what I do is I just label them accordingly. So my vanilla, my lavender, my sea salt and orchid, all my candles that are in my product line, I just put the labels on them. Y'all don't know when they're looking at my pictures if it's the same scent or not. That's like, it's just what it is. I'm not about to waste all that fragrance oil. So all right. So that is it. I am about to sign off. I just wanted to pop in here real quick and just talk a little bit about the differences that I've learned. So thanks for tuning in. And I am about to finish making these candles. So if you want to see some more candle making videos and stuff like that, you can head over to my YouTube channel where I show you how to make coconut soy candles and all that good stuff. So I just wanted to tune in and chat with y'all for a little bit, real random. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this little live, and I'll talk to y'all soon. If you have any more questions, just hit me up offline, email, DM, whatever. All right, bye y'all.